If you go on Amazon, there are quite a few dash cams on the market. There's many ranging from as low as $50 up well over a couple $100s. And so I didn't want to spend a whole ton of money when I need to go and buy one for my new car. And so what I did was go to Best Buy and found this Garmin Dash Cam Mini 3 for about $100 after a sale. Except normally it's about $150, and it doesn't have a screen, it doesn't record in 4K, and it really makes me question why it normally costs so much. So in today's video, we're going to be installing this dash cam, testing it out on the road, and then really taking a deeper look into why it costs so much and why everybody's buying this. Now, installing the dash cam took a little longer than I expected as a first-time permanent installer of one. The last one I put up just had the wiring hanging right down. So in this instance, I wanted to make sure I did it right. That meant a few hours of taking out the A-pillar to properly route the wire around the airbag, along with removing the entire glove box to feed the excess cable into. Now I will warn you, during this step you might start getting the itch to swap out your cabin air filter too if you haven't done this in a while. It's often behind a glove box, and it's a really easy thing to change while you've already spent the sunk cost of removing this part of the interior, and after the mumbling of swears from installing the cable neatly, the dash cam can be hidden extremely well in my opinion. I've helped my friend install another top-rated dash cam, the Thinkware Q200, and it sticks out a lot more than this does. Despite that one's form factor being relatively small and out of the way with no screen, it's still visible to passengers that some recording device with multiple wires is slinging sidekick on their windscreen. That's where the real value of the Garmin Dash Cam Mini 3 starts to shine. It only needs one wire for all of its power and recording capabilities. This made that installation easier than the Thinkware was for my friend's car, and it means that there's less visible wires to people inside the car in the areas that really can't be hidden no matter what. But the simplicity of the Garmin doesn't just end with the cables. The camera keeps the buttons simple enough for people like my parents that aren't used to a lot of tech in their cars and buttons to deal with. There's a button for turning on and off the audio recording, and a large button on the front for locking a video recording. This prevents the last 15 seconds of footage and the following 15 seconds of video from being overwritten. Dashcams work by overwriting the oldest footage as it's not needed anymore, and so clicking that button will then save and lock that video so it doesn't get overwritten. There's also voice commands for these abilities by saying the wake word "OK Garmin" and a command like "save video." This is really nice for people that aren't super tech savvy and just want something to work when they need it. And one last thing I'd like to point out about the easy Garmin experience is the app. As far as dash cams go, this is probably one of the better ones out there, and it provides a simple way to be able to adjust the camera placement with a live view feed or review clips over its built-in Wi-Fi connection. Is the Wi-Fi a bit slow? Sure. But does it work reliably and consistently? Yes. Once you start using other dash cams, you'll realize that not all other cameras can do that, which to some people may be really important if they're constantly wanting to review clips. However, once you start to look at said clips, that's where some of my disappointment comes out. If you can't tell it in my voice, this is where the downfalls start. For reference, I'm using the camera with only the included accessories, as I've seen polarized lenses online that some people attach to reduce the glare, but they didn't give that to me in the box, and so I'm not going to be showing you any samples with that. I'm showing you this as is, as if you're a customer like me buying this without any extra accessories. During the day it records in 1080p just fine, but really nothing exceptional. Even in good lighting, it's not the easiest to make out a clear photo of license plates unless you're really close up. At night the story is relatively similar, but it does well enough compared to most phones when it comes to brightening up the shots that are otherwise dark to the human eye. In fact, I've been working on this review for so darn long that I've had a chance to test it during Washington's atmospheric river event during December. In heavy rain like that, it's even harder to catch plates, but necessary road information like stop signs, lights, and lanes are still clear enough if this becomes evidence in a legal case. And you have to remember that at the end of the day, that's the main point of this camera. You're looking to just capture the key events in case of a legal dispute or an insurance claim. This camera is good enough for this purpose, even if it's not the best for a mobile vlog setup like I would want. And in general, other parts of the experience leave a bit to be desired, especially for the price. Omissions of the hardwiring kit that can tap into a vehicle's fuse and enable parking mode to record while the vehicle is off aren't included. That's another $35 for the fuse tap, or $50 for the OBD2 port plug. Ditto goes for not even including at least a smaller sized microSD card that I can use out of the box. That means I have to spend yet another $20 on a high-endurance Samsung card from Best Buy just to use my camera. Oh, and that's an important distinction too. This card will be written to a lot, so you really want to make sure that you're rocking a memory card meant for long-term use, so buy a high endurance card. But when we take a step back and look at it all in totality, it's still easy to see why people like this camera. You're 100% paying for the small form factor over function, and other higher end cameras may include things like exact speed, higher resolutions, advanced driving monitors, but not here. This is the camera for people who don't want to remember that they have a dash cam until they need it. It lives out of sight and out of mind, and that's okay. Not every piece of tech needs to stand out in its category, and this is an easy example of that. Folks, thanks for sticking around to this part of the video. If you've made it here already, give it a like if you enjoyed it. And if you want, consider subscribing to more tech content every week. I'll see you next time on Tech Device News.